What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jay here, man. We are here talking about the Galaxy Z Fold 6 2 months later. And okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I carry probably 3 phones with me on the daily. My so-called primary phone is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. My secondary phone, which is pretty much what I have my work stuff on, is the Z Fold 6. And then as of recently, I've been carrying around the Pixel Fold 2, just to shorten it up. And with the Z Fold 6, man, okay, we're gonna get into a few things because it's kind of a love-hate relationship that I have with it. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's go on and get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about with the Z Fold 6, which I have right here, is the design and the feel of it. Basically, over the past couple months, this phone, compared to the 3, 4, and 5 generations that I had before, I think the 6 has felt, well, it looks good. You can see it has a real industrial, new, sleek, in this crafted black looks really good on it as well. It's really grippy. The case that I've been using on it is this case from BENKS here. Links will be in the description if you want to get one. It's a lot cheaper than the Pataki cases, but you can see it has pretty much the same design factor. Only thing I think is missing is it does not have MagSafe. So I will be getting a Pataki case to review as well. But moving forward, the crafted black on the Z Fold 6 feels really good and it's grippy. Honestly, I really could rock this phone without a case because of how grippy it feels, and it is. But I have to say, it looks good, but it looks better than it feels to me. Now, I don't think that if you're a left-handed or right-handed person, you'll feel the difference because all 4 edges and corners are sharp. But I will say, with me being a left-handed person, yeah, I kind of miss the rounded factor because it doesn't cut into my hands as much as, like, let's say the 5 did, or the 4, you know, with the rounded edges. And I know for the look of the phone, it looks good, it looks new, it looks, you know, just cutting edge. You know, so I think that when it comes to carrying around, it fits good in my pocket. Definitely, because it is literally a candy bar style, you know, cutout. It's definitely narrower, so it fits a lot better in my pocket when folded. But it does cut into my fingers, so I don't really like that factor too much. It doesn't bother me quite as much. Let's say when I'm holding the phone and I'm carrying it around, it is a little sharp, but it's not like a deal breaker for me. So it's like when I slide it in my pocket, I'm like, yeah, that's a satisfying feel right there to me. And also, I guess the main thing that I want to talk about, which is probably the main problem that everyone has with this phone since the beginning, is the narrow screen on the front. Now that I cannot get past. Talking on the phone feels good just holding it, but when it comes to texting, man, and you know, you're typing in the Google search bar or any type of feature or thing that requires typing, yes, you have to put in a little more focus and concentration when you're using this phone, because you're going to make errors. And yes, you can use the swipe to text feature, but I feel like I type better with two thumbs, you know? It's like I can type quicker. You know, when you had the old school T9, you know, where you had the number pad and you could damn near just type and not even look at it. You would have 2 separate conversations and just type in, and it was quick. You already knew, your phone already knew what words you were trying to type and things like that. This can do that, but when you're typing, personally, I feel like I make more errors when I'm using 2 hands, and sometimes when I just want to go ahead and get the full message out, I'm forced to open the phone and really dig into it. Now, that brings me to my next subject. With opening the phone, there's absolutely no problem at all. The 7.6-inch display is completely and everything that you would want it to be. It does everything that you want it to do. And I think that the display and how that looks. I mean, the color is so vivid, and the multitasking features and everything, which I'll get into a little bit later, it's just perfect. It's beautiful. So that does lead me into my next point, which is the performance of everything. As far as the performance is concerned, I have not had any issues with this phone. As we all know, when it comes to Samsung and their software, their foldable software, they are pretty much at the top of the food chain. As many gripes and problems as we have with the design of the Z Fold 6 and the Z Fold lineup period, we cannot say that Samsung does not have the best software in the game when it comes to foldables. And that translates so much. I feel like the software experience transcends the design of the phone so much that it pretty much it doesn't make you completely forget about the design, especially the narrow screen on the front, but it makes up a lot when the phone functions and it does what you need it to do, just like that, really quickly. So I think that when the performance really kicks in is when you're switching apps and you're doing the multitasking, where you're bringing up 3-4 different screens, small different bubbles. Man, there's been times where I've compared multiple screens and had multiple, like, YouTube going, Netflix going, I don't know, a video on Chrome going or something, and there's been no stutter, there's been no lag, everything is flown just perfectly smooth, and I love it. Now, where you will feel I guess the problem when it comes to multitasking and having a 7.6-inch display is the battery life. Now, this foldable does not have the biggest battery of the foldables. You're around 4,200 milliamp hours, or 4,400, milliamp hours with the battery, and give or take. So you have to be conscious of, I guess, what you do. Now, the phone can learn your usage patterns and everything, but you're still gonna see it take hits, especially if you're doing heavy gaming, if you're watching Netflix or Hulu, any type of media, if you're doing video calls like that, that's definitely where you're gonna see the battery life take a hit. And I've heard mixed reviews when it comes to the battery life. Some people get battery all day. Others, it breaks down and they're charging up by, I don't know, if you take it off at 6, they're charging up by 5 or 6 that evening. But it really depends on what type of user you are when it comes to the phone. Now, me, on my screen time, to me personally, this is my workhorse. I use it for work. I get my work emails, Microsoft Teams calls, and I do all sorts of things like that. So right now, honestly, I keep mine on the charger for most of the day. Really, I've done maybe one test where I let the battery kind of run down, and it was okay. But like I said, I keep mine on. I'm around chargers mostly, so I can't really speak too much on how bad the battery life can be. Like I said, that's a day-by-day usage kind of thing. But let's say right now I'm at 94%, and if I did not charge my phone and I kept it at light usage, then I would have 1 day and 16 hours remaining on the phone. Now, that's just what it's saying. A full charge lasts about 1 day and 18 hours, starting from 100%. So battery life, I think that's based on individual usage. I can't talk too much about it, but as I've said before, if you're doing a whole bunch of things like video messaging and all that, your battery will take a hit. Now, speaking of video messaging, that means you're using the cameras. Now, when it comes to these cameras, there's not a whole lot going on with the cameras. We know that the Fold 6 does not have this flagship cameras like it has the flagship price, but it does not have bad cameras. The software, the image processing, all of that is great, man. I have videos, my daughter playing volleyball. There are pictures that I've taken and I'll show you a couple of them here, but this phone takes really good pictures. And unless you're like a hardcore photographer and you're really blasting on contrast and exposure and things like that, that you still can fix post on the phone, you're not gonna have any problems with this camera system at all. I think it's a perfect camera system for anyone if you're willing to pay this much for a phone, you will be all right with this camera. You should be all right with this camera. You knew what you were getting before you bought the phone. Let's be honest with you. Okay, so let's just be honest about that. All right, but anyway, man, so my overall experience over the past couple months honestly has been pretty good, and I gotta be honest with you, I've been using the Pixel Fold 2, the last Pixel, and ooh, yeah, see, I just took it out of my pocket and I just came from the gym. Hold on, let me wipe that down a little bit. So yeah, this is the Pixel 9 Pro Fold right here, and I've been had two different fold experiences recently. But I will say, I think I gravitate more towards the Z Fold 6, probably because I'm more used to it and I've had it for longer, and the software experience coming from a foldable, let's say from the Fold 6 and the S24 Ultra, is kind of the same. So operations, swipes, gestures, everything that you can do on the S24, you can pretty much do on the Fold 6, just on a wider aspect ratio. On a larger scale. I think that the Fold 6 is kind of it feels like home when it comes to foldables for me. But that's because I've always been like with the folds from, like, let's say the Fold 3. I think that's the first one that I got. So from the Fold 3, I've had every fold up until now. Compared to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, I do prefer the Fold 6 because the software experience is that much better. You know, like, I've done the comparison between the Fold 6 and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Go check that video out. And yes, the aspect ratio on the front screen of the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is bigger, is wider. It resembles more of a candy bar style phone, something that people are more used to. But I think that the software experience on the Galaxy Z Fold 6 makes up for a lot of that. And I think that depending on who you are, the size of your hands, some people prefer the more narrow display because they can reach, the reachability of it. You know, you're able to reach from side to side. And not only that, you don't, just because it is taller doesn't mean that you actually have to reach all the way up to the notification bar. Y'all act like y'all just can't swipe down like that and it's right there, you know? Boom, that's it. That's all you gotta do. But anyway, that's pretty much my whole thing over the last couple months, man. This has really been a great phone, and I know Samsung's got some things to fix, man, but overall, we can't even sit here in front like the Z Fold 6. It's not a great phone, man. It is a great phone. It really is a great phone. So anyway, man, that's my whole little rant about these past couple months with the Z Fold 6. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment below, let me know what you think. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you know when I'm posting videos. And we're gonna keep dropping these bangers like this, talking about the different things that I got going on and my experience over the course of time with these devices. That's pretty much it, y'all. This your boy Jay. I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Till next time, peace.